Welcome, Sam, to our next episode of Who's Penny. How you been?
Oh, Damien, I've been fantastic. Super looking forward to 2021 and everything that brings us and into the future. I love good challenges, and that's what it's going to be.
So I thought I'd wear my special jacket for you because I know you haven't seen it, but
Oh man, you and your jackets.
it's look, it's a talking point. So Sam, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you're shaping the accounting industry.
Fantastic, thank you. Well, what we do is we are all about modernizing the accounting industry and answering the question, and how do we actually operate in an industry that the rules haven't changed over the last century and a half, and how do we modernize and change, become agile, create workplaces where people do not want to leave, and also do that around making sure that we're doing it on our own terms, and the businesses actually reflect ourselves, and that we're doubling our revenues, our net revenues, not necessarily our gross revenues.
Yeah.
And we're creating businesses that are safe and very healthy for us to be in. So we can be super helpful, super flexible and agile, because we don't know what's coming our way. But I do know if you get your people right and you get your health right, you can pretty much do anything.
So your specialty is really working with accounting firms and modernizing them effectively.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
how have you gone with that sort of, the two issues of 2020? What is that looking like now in 2021?
I think the issues of 20 just really highlighted our issues. I think the problem is we do change through behavior and people, and we work around systems and processes in the everyday. And what 20 told me is that we actually had really good years as far as our businesses went from a tax accountant specifically point of view, but it really showed me just how dependent we are on one client, which is the ATO, and that was a good thing then, but then that can change the other way as well. And so that's the big challenge for our industry going forward. So from that respect, and also what it also showed me is what I already knew, because I did it myself. I burnt out and I got exhausted, and that we need to put a whole lot of boundaries and education around ourselves, how we can manage our days so we can come out and how we can actually control the client relationships and staff relationships, so we can all come out a lot healthier. We do a lot of stuff that we don't have to do. And we let a lot of people walk over our boundaries in our industry, clients and everything, because we actually don't know what they are.
Yeah.
So that's where we work. And that's what I saw.
And so opportunities, there are plenty of opportunities around.
Yeah.
Are people looking for those opportunities at the moment, or there's still a bit of a closed shop at the moment and just waiting for how things might pan out sort of through April, May, June?
Look, I just don't think that anyone can wait around. You've just got to do what you need to do right now. And even if you don't have a lot of time, so we work on the hours to dollar mindset and the time issue that we have. We don't know what's going to happen, so just start somewhere.
Yeah.
and go for it. And we work about creating some space in your everyday, just a little bit, and starting to change that. And it all starts internally. So don't wait around, everyone. Just whatever you think everyone thinks about what they should be doing, just do something, anything. Don't do it big though, just do it little steps at a time.
Now, also part of what you do, you've got a podcast up and running. I've had that up and running for quite a while now, and I thoroughly enjoy listening to it. So, tell us a little bit about how the podcast links into everything else that you're doing from a day-to-day point of view as well.
Yeah, so the podcast is where it all starts. It's called The In-Demand Accountant. Would love people to listen to it. It is actually, interestingly, getting a lot of listens for most professional services. It's all about that. We're on and it gives you a lot of, things to think outside the box. So much in our industry is all about how do we change the technology? How do we get more technically better? But we have never... If putting new technology in and putting new products in, advisory or whatever you want to call it, in were the problems to the solutions, we wouldn't be having these conversations right now. We have to get to the underlying behaviors and change underneath it. And that's what the in-demand accountant works on. And so we interview people who have worked through that, whether that's outside our industry or not. And then I go, how can we, as C-style personalities, how can we actually put this into our everyday? Because you know what, we still have to make money. We still have to get those lodgements done. That is our job. So, so much of the stuff has been, for me, because I made the change myself, geared towards the easier solutions. It's all the technology's fault, which it never is. It's all the ATO's fault, which it never is, or our clients or whatever. We have to get into our own internal stuff. And how do we do that in a industry that's ours for dollars, and that we're actually measured and valued on how much time we put down?
It's certainly a shift in where the mind works, particularly with our industry. Moving to that fixed fee structure just provides so much more flexibility for the client, and for the organisation who's building it. It makes it much more simpler. In terms of the future, will we get there, or this will be a constant battle?
Look, it's always going to be a constant battle, for sure. I like to think of it as a challenge, not a battle, but it is a battle. I think that some people will change and some people won't. The thing about our industry is we don't answer the question, what if? We always, because we haven't had to answer those questions, every industry that is changing, every business is changing, ours included. All of our clients' businesses are changing. We have to be constantly asking that question. This is from Jim Collins, is what if this was to happen? So ask yourself the question, what if tomorrow the ATO didn't want to use accountants? That's not going to happen perhaps, but you still need to actually have that mindset shift. So that's what we need to do to go forward. We are not answering those questions. So yes, my great fear is that particularly for people in my age bracket, so I just turned 50 2 weeks ago.
You're still very young, Sam. Very young.
I know. I'm so excited about turning 50. I feel so much better going into 50 than I did to 40. I'm 36 kilos also lighter. So you can change. I can tell you that. You can get healthy in this industry. You can do all of that sort of stuff. It does take work. But to me, we've got this 40 to 55, 65-year-olds. Then we've got a long time ahead of us. We've got such a wealth of information and change, and we do need to do some changes. My concern is the significant amount of people aren't going to do it. And then when they have to do it, it won't be too late. It's never too late to do anything. But now we've just got to start questioning. And if you could take that little question away, like what if? What if something was different? Because I think COVID taught us that things can change on a dime. One thing it did not teach our industry, that didn't hurt our businesses.
No.
And so the businesses that are now booming out of COVID outside our industry are businesses that did have to pivot really quickly, and they've done it before. They always constantly ask, what if? And if you look at those businesses, they've usually got great teams of people who are really engaged.
Sam, as we always like to end our episode of Who's Penny, tell us whether you've got a useless talent that you might have.
My husband thinks this is a useless talent. I actually think it's really a thing, but he calls me the Queen of Dodge. So I get out of any kind of domestic work.
And what about an old trend that you'd like to come back?
Flares, but not hipster flares, like on the waist flares, and definitely flares. I mean, come on, people, let's get some jeans that, we can actually breathe in.
Well, thanks, Sam. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to chatting to you next time.
Thank you so much, Damien. As always, it was a joy.
Thanks very much.